Hey everybody, Forrest and Dennis back with you at Life Assist, clinical product specialist, and we have gotten to the end. ET endotracheal tube demonstration video. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Finally.
Yes. As you can see, this is going to be a breeze. Quite simple. Not too much to look at here, just a few little things.
Just not much at all. I'm already confused at the wealth of tools that you guys have on the table. Like, how many laryngoscopes do you guys need?
What is going on here?
All right, let's do this.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show 3 different ways to intubate using 3 different types of tools and accessories. It's that simple. So I'm going to start with what I need to successfully intubate a patient. As we know, intubation is the most invasive that we can go. It's the most definitive airway. We talked about that in our last video. Just for everyone to know, the reference video, reference document is going to cover all of this information that we're going over in detail, okay? So, first thing we need to do is set ourselves up for success. That's what I used to always say to my trainees. And I'm going to start by picking out the ET tube, the endotracheal tube. Now, there are different sizes. This one particularly is a 7.
Okay.
Yep. And 7 is typically used for adult, small adult. I want to quickly look over the tube and make sure that all the components are there. As we know, we got the connector, we got all the markings, we know it's a 7, we got the cuff. We do want to make sure that the cuff inflates, and it does before we put that in there. Okay, so I've got all that. I'm going to set that down. The next thing I do is I want to make sure that I have a good way to shape the tube the way I want it, so when I insert it, it's going to go in smoothly. So that's what we introduced a little bit in the last video, but this is called a stylet.
A stylet, okay.
Yeah.
And that's just really like a aluminum...
Yeah, it's just a formable little piece that slides inside the tube here.
Okay. And it gives you a little bit of rigidity to pinpoint where you need, because you're going to a very specific part of the anatomy down here, right? You need to hit that precise.
Yeah, so it helps me shape it the way I like it, so when I'm inserting it, it's going to go in a lot smoother.
Gotcha.
Okay? And you can see I still have the syringe connected here.
Yep.
And this is kind of a reminder to make sure that I inflate this syringe once that we have this stable. Okay, so hold on to that. I'm going to introduce my next tool that is very important, and that is going to be the laryngoscopes. Okay, we talked a little bit about laryngoscopes. This one is an LED laryngoscope.
Okay.
LED. So LED is just a big bright light, as you can see, that kind of just shines everywhere.
So it disperses like an entire room, like a lantern.
Yes, like a lantern. It's just going to light up the whole room. This is going to allow me to look inside that airway, get good visualization of those cords, and pass it through.
All right.
So I'm pretty much set up and ready to go. So the way this works is there's different types of blades. You can see this one's curved. This is called a Macintosh or Mac. Yep. There are also other blades. There's the Miller, which are the straight blades.
AKA the ice skate.
Yeah, AKA exactly. It just really depends on what the
That thing is actually really bright.
It is.
It's like in my eye. Thank you.
This is, it just depends on what the clinician likes. I like the curved blades just because I feel like it, when I'm inserting it, it just goes at the curvature of the anatomy and it makes it really easy for me.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and insert. What I'm doing is I'm slipping this down the tongue, and then I'm slowly maneuvering it, and I'm trying to get a nice visualization.
And you're
of
looking
the
right
vocal
alongside
cords.
the blade.
Yep, I'm looking right down the chute, and I've got good cord visualization. And I'm gonna go ahead and just pass this right on through, and I am in.
And you know you're in because you see it go into
I watched it pass through the cords.
Right on.
However, we do want to make sure. So a couple things I want to note here. Number one, let's inflate the cuff. And I'm going to measure my marking here. Remember we talked about the centimeters, the length of the tube? Mm-hmm. I'm going to take a look at my marking and make sure that I know that number. So when we test it, if it's a good tube, I know where it needs to sit to give me the best ventilation.
Understand.
Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go ahead and attach the BVM.
All right, so this is a standard BVM.
Standard BVM.
This is an Ambu one.
Yep.
Pull this mask off in the field. Set that
Those
down.
Ambu ones are always so hard to get off.
Right,
They're
are.
They're like glued on there.
Hey, Ambu man.
All right, so this right here is our Ambu man.
No, that's ET.
Okay, that's ET, but this is Ambu man. But ET makes sure that the ventilation is correct.
You're going to see it green. on
We're
the
gonna see
screen right
green
here.
if I'm in the lungs and we're getting good res. And there it
So
is.
there's your green right there.
And ET approves.
All right.
So we've got a good tube. So that's good. Now I would further secure this, but we're going to save that for last.
Right. We're doing multiple, so we're not
Yeah.
going to secure this one, obviously, because it's not staying in.
Yep.
You wouldn't be doing this in the field, would you?
Only unless the patient started showing signs of consciousness and the really stable ability to breathe on his own. Other than that, once this is established and secured, I'm leaving it in, and that is that.
Ambu Man has not given us that stable ability to breathe
Not
on his
yet.
own just
Not
yet.
yet.
Technology's coming, though. I bet.
He's in shock that he's just on camera right now, so he really can't talk that much.
You sell your soul, you sell your
Okay.
legs to the devil, you get on camera.
Okay, so moving right into the next one. Same setup. Got the tube. We know all the markings.
Same setup.
Gonna check the inflation. We know the cuff is good.
Cuff's good.
Okay, we don't want any leaks, so we'll set that there. Now, instead of using a stylet, once we
This
pick
is
the
the
tube,
stylet.
I'm gonna introduce what's called a bougie.
Okay.
It's kind of like a stylet. It's this little formable thing.
About the same
and
diameter,
It's pretty,
yeah.
pretty small, pretty thin. But this, instead of me putting this inside the tube, what I like to do, or what some clinicians like to do, is they use this first to get that inside the trachea.
Okay.
Due to, say, difficult airways.
Right.
People have just all kinds of things. And then once that's done, you can actually just slide the tube right over and it'll go in.
So it's easier to get this little tiny one into where you need it to go and then use
Correct.
it as like a track or a rail to bring that ET tube in.
Exactly. So it's just a little added bonus there in case you have someone who appears is going to have a difficult airway.
Okay.
Okay, laryngoscope number 2.
Yeah.
Something
That
different.
is a different color.
Yeah. This also has a different light.
Okay.
Fiber optic.
So that one's fiber optic. This one is LED. What's the
Yeah.
difference between fiber optic and LED?
A fiber optic light is a more directional light. So instead of just lighting up the room like a lantern, like you said, this one is actually, when I'm inserting and trying to get that visualization, where I move the blade, it's going to really focus, pinpoint on where I'm moving it. So it's more of a-
Flashlight.
Yeah, exactly. You want it on that spot, that's the spot it's going to go.
I've got a handle.
Yeah.
Can I just interchange that and use this on that handle?
I don't know, can you?
Let's check it out. Let's see. No, wait.
No.
Turn
that-
it around.
Oh,
No,
did
that
you?
was the right way? No, what would? Yeah, that's not the right way. It's not working.
Basically what you're telling me is what is I'm going to answer anyways, which is LED works with LED.
Okay.
Fiber
so
optic works with fiber optic. Good news is interchangeable by the manufacturer. So I can get Smith's, or I'm just throwing names out there, but
Right.
I can get Bob's and Joe's fiber optic and they'll work together. I can get Bob's and Joe's LED and they'll work together.
Okay, so there's this standardization that you mentioned in your training document.
Correct.
If you want to know a little bit more about that, but the brand is not specific. It's more the type of light
standard.
and the type of handle.
Absolutely correct.
Okay, that's good to know.
It is, because some people, oh my God, they have this kind, but we only have this kind. Can they use those with that kind? And
Right.
the answer is yes, as long as it's the same light source. Okay, same exact thing. I got my bougie ready. I'll talk about this little curved tip here in a second, what that does. But let's go ahead and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna visualize those chords. I mean, you see how quick I did that?
Right.
I mean, that's how easy it is with this bougie.
Now, how do you know that you're in with that bougie? Is there? I mean, you saw it go in, but is there any other way that you can
Just
tell?
knocked ET. Sorry. Okay. Couple things. That little bend at the top is actually supposed to give you a tactile feel, or what's called a cricoid cartilage, these little
Okay.
rings. So I can bring it back and forth and you can feel it clicking off of them.
Okay.
Secondly, if I'm in the lungs will branch off and bifurcate. So once we hit that bifurcation, I'm going to get jammed up here and it's not going to know where to go.
Okay.
But
If
if I was
you're
in
in
the
the esophagus or
In
the
the
stomach,
yeah.
you're going to hit ET's.
Yeah.
and you're
I'm
gonna
going to
be
take
that
ET's
deep.
legs out with this thing.
Okay.
So that's how I know I'm in, and I'm getting some resistance. So take that, and let's go ahead and let's have you slide the tube.
All right. So the cup
And this
is
time you're
not
going to do the
inflated.
whole thing.
So this-
You're going to slide it all the way,
Slide it all the way in.
and I want you to try to get to 22 at the teeth.
So I don't even see the markings. The markings are on your side.
I'll
so
let you know when you're close.
22 at the teeth.
Keep going.
All right.
Keep going.
Hang with me, Ambu Man. Stay there.
Did we just lose it?
He doesn't have a pulse. I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think we were good there for a second. There we go.
Leave it to me to mess it
No,
up.
it's all right. I think we came in too vertical.
All right.
Okay, so we're still in, but you can see this is reality. Sometimes you do have things that happen, you know, and you have to readjust.
All right.
Okay. So
pull that out.
Pull that out.
Obviously, we're going to inflate the
Inflate
cuff.
the cuff.
All right. And then just pop that off.
No problem.
Let's test.
Let's test.
Watch for the green.
Yep. ET's back on his platform. He's watching.
And we've
look at
got
that.
green right there.
So we had a little bit of a hiccup there, but we got it.
Yeah.
No big deal. Okay, so let's deflate that cuff and pull this,
Deflate
and then
the
we're going
cuff.
to move on to the grand finale here.
All right. Cuff deflated. Pull that out.
Okay, so there's that.
Yep.
Okay, final thing. Got the tube. We went through all that. What's this?
That's the Christmas version because it has the red and the green on it.
True.
It's just
True cuff inflator. This thing, when you're in there and you're inflating that, it is basically, you can't see it, right?
Right, that's invisible because it's...
This gives you a marking, so when the line is in a certain area, like right in between, right around the green zone, it's going to tell you that you are inflated at the right. So it's just a little added extra security.
It reads the pressure and tells you how close you are to being full.
Other than that, everything else is the same. Okay, so we'll set that there.
God,
Final
I
thing.
Probably don't want to overinflate those.
What is? Well, that's why you know. Even if you pull it back, as long as you're in that green, you're good.
Yeah.
What is this?
That's just a different color. It's the same thing. No, it's very similar to this bougie.
This is kind of a bougie, but it's got some extra features. It's called the S-Guide.
Okay.
And what it does is it acts as a bougie, but also has little holes in it. So we can actually provide oxygen to the patient via either just an oxygen tank or via bag valve mask while we're intubating. Because remember, when we're trying to intubate, we're not providing oxygen.
No, you're providing tubes and stuff down the guy's throat instead of oxygen. He needs oxygen.
He does. So this one, as opposed to the bougie where we kind of inserted the bougie first, since it's set up like this, we pre-enter it in.
And then you've got some connectors over there.
Yeah, and then we got the little orange thing. This is kind of our little feel spot.
Okay.
Our little
so that's going down first, so you can kind of get it introduced.
And then these are the connectors. So you got the BBM connector, which will go on like that.
Yeah, that would fit, this connection right here, right?
Yes.
All right.
And then you have your regular O2.
And we have an O2 tank here.
Tubing that I'm going to have you go ahead and hook that up to.
Right. And then that goes into there.
Correct.
And so I would turn this on as you're getting ready to intubate.
Yep. And then finally...
Screen, video. Yes. I know that. Video.
This, believe it or not, this thing plays Netflix. No, it doesn't.
Does it? It doesn't stream?
No, it doesn't.
For the price...
You
would think it would stream.
I wonder what new series is coming. Oh, sorry. This is a video laryngoscopy. Okay, this is the iView. Awesome. This one's actually single-use disposable, super easy. Got the screen. It's got the curved type Mac blade, which I like, which pretty much all of them have, I think. But there's a couple out there that have straight blades, but most of them are Mac. This thing, when I'm going in the same way I would with the regular laryngoscopes, I'm actually now not even looking at the cords.
You don't have to look down there. And
I am just looking at my screen.
I got
you. You can see it.
And then you'll be able to see this thing actually pass through the screen. And you know exactly that you're in.
So you watch. Look at that. It's passing.
There it goes in.
Right.
You can see it go right through it. Yeah.
In there. And then that's my visual confirmation.
There you go.
Okay, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and inflate the cuff, make sure that we're watching that mark.
Yeah. And so we're right about there.
Perfect. So then we can now pull this off. And at that point, we could, detach the O2 and get ready to bag. So let's go ahead and check this one.
All right. Let me just put this oxygen in. And looking for green on the screen.
Let's see. Oh,
there it is.
3 for 3. ET is happy. Okay, so I did promise that now that we're at the last one here, I'm going to finish it off. Now I got to secure my tube. I know it's good. We're in a good spot. I know my numbers here. I'm going to go ahead and use the Thomas tube holder. We sell these. These come in 3 different sizes: pediatric, regular adult, and large. This thing fits right on, acts as a bite block, and also secures the tube. And there it is. It goes around the head or under the neck-ish area. It straps right on. And that one jarred a little bit. I still know we're good though.
Hey, but we have that marking. We know we're in. We can
see. So that's a good point. So if I did mess that up, I could always recheck and say, okay, I'm still at 24, and I could see if I had good ventilation. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how we're establishing an ET tube. As you can see, a lot of different ways. Just depends on the preference. But I think there is a tool out there for everybody. That's it, guys.
There are some different sized blades, though, right?
Oh, that's right. Almost forgot about that. So, as you can see, we got some tiny guys here.
Mini Max.
Yeah, so here's the thing about this. Not that many agencies anymore actually innovate pediatrics as much. So we always like to ask our customers, like we talked in the last video, make sure you find out if they do innovate pediatrics. If they do, we've got the right size
know the
place for
protocol
you.
when you go in and kind of go for sales and talks.
You got it. So that's pretty much how you innovate. Thanks for watching, you guys. We got new training videos coming up, and it's going to be a longer.
It'll be a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be a couple minutes, maybe a month or so before we start filming a new one, right?
Okay, bye.
No? All right.